on the hunt for a Rowan tree or a mountain ash. Some people might know it as Cailleachs, which is like the CH is in lock, so Cailleachs, and it's loose in the OM alphabet, and you hear it in words such as Ard Lewis, which is up north in Scotland. So this is a Rowan tree, or Rowan tree, a Cailleachs, that is outside of a bank in my local village that you can see where I'm standing at the moment on the way to the shops. Rowan is really, really distinctive. You can tell it's a Rowan tree because of its really, really long, straight, just wait for this car to come past. You can tell it's a Rowan tree because of its long, straight trunks that go all the way up, and these little buds that sit at the edge here, and it's silvery grey bark that makes a good dye. So what you're looking for is a stick about the size of a pencil or a drinking straw, and normally you would just ask the tree permission to gather one, but I see there's one actually fallen off here. So we'll just collect this branch here and say thank you. So this is what you're looking for, something kind of like the size of a pencil, and then we'll take that back to the house to turn into a charm. Thank you, tree. Okay, so earlier we found like a Rowan tree, and the branch that we had I've broken down into 2 equal parts. A handy wee little technique to do if you want to make the cross is to cut like a little niche in your branch or twig, and what you need to do is you need to make it look like a St. Andrew's cross, because that is the Scottish tradition of Rowan crosses, so it should look like an X and not a Christian Equilamb cross. So the little niche can help you kind of keep that in place. So this will go down here for a second in the snow, and then you need a length of red string. This has been eaten a little bit by moths, so what you need to do is place the length of string so under your niche here, and then put the other twig on top of it. And what you need to do then is kind of wrap it, and as you wrap it you need to say certain words. So this charm is available in the workshop, and we'll be talking about this in more detail. So it's up to you how you wrap it. But while you do, you have to say, I craft this charm for the threshold, just as great-grandmother McCracken did before me, with the name of spirits of Cailleachs on my lips, a charm between the threshold and harm. And then rotate it and say again, I craft this charm for the threshold, just as great-grandmother McCracken did before me, with the name of the spirit of Cailleachs on my lips, a charm between the threshold and harm. And then if you want, you can say it a third time, I craft this charm for the threshold, just as great-grandmother McCracken did before me, with the name of the spirit of Cailleachs on my lips, a charm between the threshold and harm. So then you can tie it off and make sure that it's fit for purpose. Yeah, this wool isn't very good. So ideally you want to get the string in a position so when it hangs like a St. Andrew's cross, like that. Here's one I made earlier, and I've just made sure that it hangs properly, and there's a little iron key on the bottom. So there you go, that's what it should look like when it's finished. Right, I've come back indoors because it's freezing outside, and I'm going to use the one that I prepared earlier, which is this one here. As it kind of hangs, right, so you can see that it kind of hangs in a St. Andrew's cross shape. I've made it look a little bit nicer with taking the bark off and done 2 little noose knots on the bottom and the top to hold things up. So the idea is you then need to hang this on your threshold door. It's a bit too dark to film by my front door in this old house, so this is where it would, like if this is your front of your house, this is where it would go. Also the knotwork on here too, it's not very fancy. Some people like to weave it around or make it into more of a kind of what looks like the Mexican cross or a St. Bridget's cross with the weaving and stuff. I'm sure craftspeople can do it a lot nicer than I can. So when you go to hang the cross, you hang it on the door, and then you say, I place this Rowan and red thread before the threshold with the name of Cailleachs on my lips, a charm to avert harm against eye, against envy, against the forspoken word, against malice, against lightning, against storm, against flood, against disaster, against disease, a charm between the threshold and harm, a charm of subduing and averting, under sky, over sea, and across land, as it is, was, and shall be. You can basically add against anything into the against anything part. So if it wasn't for your door, it could be like against theft, against car crashing or whatever. And then the last part that's under sky, over sea, across land, as it was, is, and shall be, is a Gaelic Polytheist expression. As sky, sea and land are the sacred three, the antrinom, and as it was, is, and shall be is a kind of blessing that's found within some of the Carmina Gadelica and what they use. So you can actually switch that out for something that maybe is more suitable to your own practices. But the idea now is this cross stays here and does the work. The spirit of the tree protects your house, and those leaky places that we talked about in the workshop. When it's done its job, or it has done something particularly impressive, it will fall apart. So it's time to make a new one. Otherwise, you can just choose to make a new one every quarter festival or whatever time kind of really suits you for whatever you need. Grand.